He'll be there in a quick little minute, but
just here.
I was wondering where he was going with that whole, like, what the heck?
Always rolling, so stay in the game.
This is
like,
it.
subscribe.
Now you got to show it off. That is like the ultimate warrior right there. No, but like I was wondering where he was going with this. If I offered you 10 million, what would you do? Of course, everyone's gonna take it. Then of course yeah, but you got to die tomorrow. The real question becomes. I just heard Sean say this. This is where my mind went. At what age would you have to be where the answer would be yes? Because like for a lot of people, it'll come down to this. There is an age at which you're like, okay, I'm going out, but I can give this to my family. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where I think it gets interesting. You're like, I've lived a good life, but all of a sudden it's like every people can be taken care of.
True.
My guess is it's probably really old, or you need more than 10 mil, because 10 mil is not what he.
Well,
I mean, it's a lot.
If I can buy my coffee, I'm happy.
I know as long as you can buy your coffee.
That's you know, life can be simple. That's all we need.
That's all we need.
Look at Tesla.
Dude, Tesla's been ridiculous. Sean's killing over there because Randy wants to be here. He'll be there in a quick little minute. But
just here.
The move on Tesla, unbelievable. I just saw someone say the plunge protection team came in. Look, the buying that just came into this, that's not the plunge protection team. The plunge protection team comes in when the market is getting destroyed. There he is. Why is it so? It's always so dark over there. You got to have some lights. I couldn't sit in that seat. Like you couldn't even see me if I sat in that seat. Like it's ridiculous.
It's the cave.
Of course, he's wearing all black too, right? So that's how it is. Wow, it was a lot of fun on that midday show. Shout out to everyone. We appreciate you guys so much. But like the market, I was telling this to Obi, it feels like we're just waiting. Everyone was waiting for an excuse for that 550 on the SPY to drop it off. Like we're breaking away. Trump says one thing, and it was just waiting for that moment. And then boom, we just flushed through it. You saw this morning, Michael Noss talked about it. First it was Brian Shannon mentioning this on Tuesday. You had 550 resistance. There's an anchored VWAP that goes there from the highs. We've rejected it, and all it took is some comments, man. But there were a lot of pot shots taken on the short side going into it. Like it's a tough ride. Like I tweeted out earlier.
A bit of a coaster.
It's like the plan of action was to be long Tesla, 260.
Came up a little short.
No, but did you see any green longs? No long, 0 for 1.
What a ride.
Okay, lose again, finally catch one. And it eventually only gives you a $3 pullback. Like, what are the best pullbacks on Tesla? If you get the top, you get $5. If you get this one, you get $3. You get this pullback, you get $3. Like, the early one was actually the best. We got maybe 4 clean in there, and it trended down. So that's like the best it's giving you on those dips.
Not bad.
Is just a few bucks on the uptrend. Ripping faces off.
Nothing wrong with a $3 trade.
Well, it's not. Look, it's not bad. You should be long.
You can't complain. But
your homie right here.
Yeah. I think it's kind of a sympathy play. They're riding Rivian or riding the coattails, but you know, there's other things to look at. So not quite the bottom I would go along, but
no. But look at the 50
It's always
period.
a fun Friday.
Look at the 50 period. Look at the trend.
Yeah.
It's not that bad, man.
Not that bad.
It's not that bad at all. I'm not saying I would be getting back into Rivian yet, but it's certainly getting close to considering it. That's for me anyway.
Yeah.
I got out of it.
Cool.
Yeah, he's feeling it. All right, everybody, we'll get Sean back up here in a quick little second. We're going to do we'll do our rundown, all the regular stuff. I'm only in 2 positions from those highs. It's the same stuff from before, and I just realized I need to be in the new chat because it's the afternoon show. Everyone should come here automatically, obviously, but let's respect it. Tom H. wants to know about BBAI. BBAI is flying. Everything is flying today. If you're down today, you stink. No, seriously, no. When you have days, well, you know what I mean by this. When you have days like today, we said this before. If you have a day like today, and you're not up, okay, you must have had really bad news. The stock, like Intel, right? Like you have a reason why you're going to be down today. But these, like Rivian should be up today. Tesla's up 10%. If Rivian was down, you should be crying if you're a shareholder. As far as I'm concerned, like that's pretty obvious to me. All right, we'll see what happens. Like I can't believe how big this rally is off the bottom. It really felt like we'd had a turn. They have the Rivian chart up. That's right back into the highs.
Oh, man.
The firm right to VWAP, it's almost right back into the 50 level. At least we waited for 50. And then I'm short Mara. Mara was a nice little curl and acceleration. Yeah, this is one of my, I'm not happy with this because that's a, you shouldn't be getting out there. You should be getting out underneath that trend line. But look at the bounce. So yeah, it's one of those mornings where the shorts finally came in to get us back, but ultimately should have been long early.
I just cost myself way too much money hanging out over there with the tech guys. We're short the TQs right there, and then went all the way down there, and we're getting coffee, and then that happened. Okay, those are the positions we have on right now, but it is Sharif time, so let's go over to the desk and find out what you guys want to talk about.
Over-the-shoulder trick shots are hard. Saving money on car insurance shouldn't be.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, everyone, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys, locked and loaded, ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get those tickers on there is to join Joseph and I on the How to Trade Midday Show and get into that chat and vote for your favorite tickers. But you've got to be a subscriber in order to chat, engage, and vote with us. So make sure you're liking, subscribing, and sharing. Here's a look at the four major averages right now. 2 in Greensville, 2 in Redsville. In Greensville right now, the NQ and the ES both positive on the day, with the NQ edging out the ES about 0.75% in the green, with the SPY about 0.4. Down is the Russell 2000 in small caps, marginally in red, about 0.3, 0.4%. Likewise with the Dow, down about 0.25% on the day. We'll have to see if it can recover. Google, guys, the number one ticker as decided by you, only up 1.4% now after being well over 6% after yesterday's blockbuster earnings report. They beat everywhere, guys. On the top and bottom line, it was a decent guide. Just a couple of misses with respect to revenue in cloud and YouTube ads, boys.
I got to clarify something, and I'll say it a second time.
Well, I'm short.
I did not mean, look, I said if a stock is not trending up today or up today, it stinks. Okay, like today, I don't think, I'm not, if Trump doesn't tank the market, I don't get it back today. It's that simple, because I wasn't wrong. So there, it is what it is. But Trump said something, and we happened to be at 550 when he did, so we got fortunate. But I'm concerned, the 3-day rule is always a thing. That always matters to me. So I want to see how Google Alphabet responds next week to this. But you can't like a good quarter that gets sold off into a strong market. That's not price action that's going to make anybody happy with Alphabet. So I'm very interested to see if it can hold on to one. It'll be, is it 160? Maybe, yeah, it'll be 160 next week. Like the prior high becomes very important because we left the morning show and I was like, yeah, you know what? Google has a chance to close above the 50 period, all that kind of stuff. But no, it never abated the trend with the market doing this. So that's it's concerning for Alphabet, at least in the next couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying it earlier this morning that, I mean, I didn't really love the quarter. I liked the quarter, but I wasn't feeling that, okay, that's the TQs. Hopefully we go to the downside. Yeah, we're short. We're $3 in the money right now. So what's up, Ozan? What's up, everybody else? You know, we took a while to get this short, that's for sure. You guys know we were battling with this. This is the same position that we have. We actually still have shares on this. We were able to get out a little bit there when we went for that coffee, but now hopefully it comes back in and we're able to get out a little bit more. Yeah, look, I don't like the search business anymore. I myself pretty much ask ChatGPT everything now. I don't even go to Google. And I mean, I used to do that like all the time. You used to just go to Chrome, search something, would come up, you click on the link, da-da-da. Now, for me, my habits have changed. So as a shareholder, that is disturbing to me a little bit. I know Google will figure it out. I mean, the people that are running the show are way smarter than me, so it's not like I'm telling them anything they don't already know. Google could be their own standalone product. Maybe we unlock some value there. But I think they're old. I almost think Google's an old story now. I don't know. Like, I don't want to unwind, but I don't want to add to it. So, you know, we were long only once, and then we just shorted it all the way up. We're shorting it into VWAP. It hasn't seen VWAP since. So, I mean, it's $3.50 now. You know, again, I like the trade today. It's too bad that we're still not up 7%. Like that was a, I know it means a lot to a lot of people's accounts, and it means a lot to the market to have Google with it, right? So, yeah, that part does suck. So,
yeah. Someone asked about the 3-day rule.
don't like it.
We throw it out there a lot. So I think pretty simply, and I put it in the chat, but I'll say it for anybody that's not maybe watching in the chat. The 3-day rule just applies to, typically you'll say earnings, but it's any major news on an individual stock, maybe even a sector.
Right.
Just give it 2 or 3 days, usually about 3, to settle down before making a decision a long term. Like obviously you're going to day trade it. People will put in swing trades maybe before, that kind of a thing. But I just mean like if you're thinking about fundamentally for the long term, like if I was asking myself, okay, well I like dip buying Meta, XLF, and a few other things this year, and Google's maybe not on that list, do I want to trim Google based on what I'm seeing the reaction to this quarter? Well, I wouldn't make that decision today, and I wouldn't make that decision on Monday. I'd make that decision maybe middle of the week. I'd probably wait until after Meta's earnings, to be honest with you. We get them next week. I think that's a more opportune time to really take it in. See how Meta does, see what the reaction is after that. But you cannot, I don't see any possible way this price action wouldn't make you nervous about why this selling is happening. Let's go talk about Intel, because they beat, but the guide was meh. I mean, it's always meh. So at what point? Oh, it is.
I was sitting here adjusting my chair.
Oh, you did?
Oh, she just put it on me. Okay. I'm sitting here doing this, doing that.
Yeah, let's talk about.
So Sharif, those shoes not available anymore.
No, apparently not. What about those boots, though? Those are nice.
Are those boots available?
Why are you in boots? It's like
Over to Sharif.
it was nice out today. Well, it's raining.
I'll fix it.
If you want to learn Python for a career in data science, IT, or engineering, then you
All right, guys, Intel next over here, dropping below 20 bucks, but still, not a bad quarter. It was a bad guide, down 7.4%. Look, EPS beat, revenue beat. It was quite good all around, except with a couple of segments. Their PC segment continues to struggle despite, concerns or thoughts that it could be the buying for PCs, that is, could be pulled forward ahead of the tariffs. That did not happen. In any event, a light guide, guys, and as a result, down about 7.5%.
Yeah, it's not showing rating
Intel
today.
stinks.
Oh, Intel? Beat but guide meh.
Well, at what
Beat
point?
but guide meh.
When you always have bad guides, like at what point? You can't call it meh if that's what it always is. If it's always a bad guide, then it should be. We should be you ran used to this. Like Gelsinger was that way. Yeah, we're good. But look, I don't like Intel. I think they're in a world of trouble. But we'll get to that in a quick little second here, I do believe, because we were short it most of the day, and if not for, I don't know why I took this one. It was a one in front of the 20 level, and then turned a little bit red on it. But before we get into that in earnest, let's talk a little bit about VinFast, because VinFast closed 2024 with strong financial and operational performance, signaling big progress on its global EV journey. Q4 revenue reached $678 million US, up 70% year over year and 34% quarter over quarter, reflecting robust demand and improving sales execution. 97,000 plus EVs were delivered last year, including 53,000 in Q4 alone, a 192% increase year over year, underscoring traction across core and new markets. They had progress in global expansion with 322 EV showrooms and 322 e-scooter showrooms now operational worldwide as of March 2025, including both VinFast owned and dealer operated locations. Their continued deployment of V-Green charging infrastructure and growth of GSM electric ride-hailing services in key Asian markets are driving long-term EV adoption. Shout out VinFast if you're interested. Scan the QR code to see more information. Cool-looking car.
That's a long one.
That blue is the same as my shirt. Intel stinks. The best short was the first short. I didn't have the first short. I had the second and third, fourth shorts, and the sixth and seventh were the ones that you didn't want. What else? And it's also, the other thing too is, it made one low and now a higher low. So the 3-day rule here actually might present you with a buying opportunity in Intel, because you're risking essentially to the the 52-week low. I keep wanting to say all-time low, but it's a 52-week low on Intel. And if you believe in the turnaround possibilities here, how much worse could it possibly get?
Oh, I thought that was a rhetorical question. A lot worse? I mean, I don't.
No, I mean, I just meant if you're stopping out at the low.
Oh, if you're stopped. Oh, yeah. I was going to say, like, if this market continues to go down, Intel probably just continues to go with it. Look, Intel's going to be my best name today, and it's because we actually stuck with the plan and we did it immediately. We actually started trading a little bit in the pre-market once it broke that 1980. Same level that Neil was talking about, same level that we wrote down on our sticky notepad today. Oh, but those things should have got delivered. I have to go see if we got an Amazon delivery. But we like that trade. We had it early. We got out. Like, when it flushed, it was exactly the plan that we were looking for. I thought anybody that played the earnings long yesterday was going to flush out at the beginning, and that's what happened there early. Lucky to get out. Obviously, we didn't get out of everything. We probably got out about half. Then we just cleaned it out when it wasn't going back up. A lot of 60 fills off short 20s. Short 1980, then short 1985. Right into there, and then we started covering, and then it went back up to 20, and then we got stopped out at $20.03 for a 5-cent hit, our last little piece. And we've left it alone, as right now it's not doing much, but it does actually look like a long off VWAP. I mean, it's been holding that since 12 o'clock, so I don't want to go long right now. You can see I'm short the market, and we're getting some out there, and it's been a good day for the short, so I think we'll stay with that. But yeah, I think if Intel breaks above this $20.20, then it's probably a long, and I may trigger myself into that. So if the market really gets going right here and Intel is pressing that, and we have like maybe a half hour left in the day or so, if that starts to happen, then I'll take that. I'm not going to take it with imbalances around the corner. It's Friday, and you're going to have options expiration and whatnot today. So it's actually, is it the third Friday today? No, it's not. Last Friday was. Okay, so that's good. So we don't have to worry too much about that. But, you know, I like Intel today if we can get going through that level. It's showing that it wants to hold this 1985 area, so there's my little quick out there. But yeah, bad stock, bad report. Sharif went over some of that on the midday show, and we just talked about it again. So I'm going to stay away from it until it either breaks the high or that's about it. I'm still in it for long-term hold. Next time I'll learn my lesson and get out if it gets to the $25, $26 mark again. I don't know. Intel Lip-Boutin needs to get this straightened out, but often a new CEO needs a couple quarters, right? And so this will be the second one. So we'll wait to see what happens now moving forward into the last half of the year. Go Intel, go. I mean, they're one Trump tweet, one Trump mention or something away. I think they are a acquisition target.
Multiple aspects of their business 100% are.
Yeah.
Like, I think I would say it's a little more likely
if you're trying to build your own
multiple
chips.
places of their business and they sell the entire thing outright, that would make some sense. But I kind of feel like that's the.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you hold the stock because you think it's going to get bought out or anything like that. It's just I do think that they hold some pieces
a little bit
that someone wants. I mean, there must be some proprietary licensing that they hold for some of their chips. And Palantir.
I'm joking.
Yeah, no, they don't have enough cash. So. All right, we'll go back over. Palantir is basically that stock price is just.
Only saying because it's next. That's
Okay, yeah. All right, yeah, maybe Palantir can buy them.
No, probably not.
Bracho.
Still, bruh. No.
Yeah, well, it just keeps going up every day, guys. I mean, come on. Another 3% today, above $110, trading about $111, a little bit off the highs, but good look there. Danny Ives coming in and saying, look, if you sell a physical product and your product comes from anywhere where there's high tariffs, you're in trouble and stay away. What he does like is a software business, citing Microsoft, Google, and you guessed it, Palantir boys.
Surprised by recent market swings? Wondering what's next? Volatility can bring stress and opportunity for disciplined investors. Get the latest stock market outlook.
Palantir today, I mean, I wasn't in it today, which was obviously a mistake. It always leaves you a little bit speechless. So it's tough in the morning always with Palantir. Try to find the bottoms. I mean, if you do have a good handle on where the market's going on a day, then definitely Palantir will give you that ride. And you can, if the market's down 1% today, Palantir would be down 3. If it's up 1%, it's up 3. I mean, it has this relationship. We all know how aggressive it is. No matter what you're looking at, Palantir is going to be. It's almost like just a more aggressive futures play than the futures themselves, obviously. Look, it battled around there today. It started to bump up into 107. right there, bumped down into 107. That's not really a key enough level for me. It wasn't so much on the radar. Yesterday's closing price was right in here, 107.50, 108. So if you took that early, you probably got stopped out when it went to 106.50. That would have been $1 against you. And if you took it when it broke it still chopped around. Pretty choppy all day. I mean, it looks like it's had a nice little bounce off VWAP right there, and then again off the 200 period. Yeah, Palantir, just let it keep cooking, man. I mean, it's upside. This looks like a good level right there, 110.20. You get pullbacks into there. I think Palantir continues to work, but a name that's up 65% or something like that. It was 60. Its bottom. Forget about the very bottom wick. Let's just call it $70. Let's just forget about that $5 there downside. You're 70 to 110 in like 11 days. So you've added $40 onto 70. So that's 60% or so in 11 days for Palantir. So, yeah, I mean, what's another 3% today?
58.28571.
Right. It's just going up, and away.
And what's crazy is there's no resistance on the daily chart. So that's my contribution. There isn't any on the daily.
What is the high?
125-ish. Is the
25 or so? That's next Wednesday.
Yeah, like ish. So this is where it's at. I guess you could make a good argument for a right in around here, like 110 to 112. Just say that was a little something, but like gap filled. There you go. It's filled the gap. I still think it's chill, bruh, not bruh chill, but I don't know. Maybe that's the new way they say these things.
Chill, bruh.
Bruh. Chill.
MSTR. Okay, MSTR. Okay,
son.
I see you, MSTR.
Okay.
Daddy, chill. No, up here, up into 372 is MSTR, up 6%. There's really no headline today on MSTR. Michael Saylor was chirping at the bank saying that they're more than welcome to bring Bitcoin for their clients. But again, no real specific catalyst. But I want to bring this to your attention. Fartcoin, likely to be the meme coin of 2025. Michael Moss got this one right, boys.
Hold on. Who's saying that Fartcoin is going to be the meme coin of 2025? Ankit Verma. Fartcoin is the meme coin of 2025.
It's not.
Hard pass.
Trump coin.
I don't know. Well,
Trump coin is up 10% today.
Wasn't it bigger yesterday?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, if you're going to invest in coins, why not?
Don't at me. But if you were picking meme coins, I would suppose maybe there'd be some more juice behind that. No, obviously MSTR is having a good day. But I want to point out something that's going on because MSTR breaking the highs. MSTR, there we go. Forget about it's not split adjusted, so forget about the 200 period moving average. But just look, it's broken out the 44 on the dailies, consolidating that level. Looks like it wants the 400, which is next. But what's interesting is while this is happening, IBIT is underneath VWAP and underneath 95,000 Bitcoin. So you're off of the highs here in IBIT, and MSTR is breaking out. Now, it's not to say like MSTR has done this before, it can certainly continue, but I would be a little bit cautious if I was long MSTR today, which I'm absolutely not. As we lose that 550 on the SPY, the Qs comes back down, Bitcoin's not exactly running through the highs. At some point, you'd think that would bring MSTR down a little bit. But for now, it's easily flying. I am in Mara. This one basically, it double topped. And it was the same thing. I looked at Bitcoin, and I looked at Mara, and I looked at Bitcoin, and was like, well, I'm shorting everything else. At least fundamentally, this at some point you think would follow Bitcoin, and it did do a nice little double top. If Bitcoin breaks VWAP, I get out of this. If it holds underneath, I might look to add this afternoon on Mara. But yeah, impressive day for MSTR. I see why everyone's so excited. It's still breaking highs. Bitcoin's doing nothing right now. Literally nothing. And this is breaking out.
I mean, here's the daily chart for MSTR, right? I mean, of course, it's strategy. And if you've had a strategy of buying the 200 period moving average on the daily, then you've been absolutely printed on this name. I mean, this is the 200 period moving average. I can't draw this any better. You know, like, there it is, there it is, there it is. Like, it's an absolute perfect way to trade strategy. All right, and I mean, you can probably overlay Bitcoin to this. It would be somewhat similar. But this move that we've had, remember, this is a daily chart. So this bottom right there was April 9th, and it was $240, April 9th. For $240, add 130 to that. Like, that's 100, like, that right there is $130 straight to the upside off of 240. So you're up way more than that 50, 60, 70% since April 9th. So in 2 weeks, this thing is absolutely mooned. So yeah, to everybody that's saying like if you're going to be in Bitcoin, you might as well be in some MSTR. I don't hate on that at all. I mean, I think it looks like that's going to be the right way to go. They're going to keep on buying Bitcoin. If you like the trade, I think it's here for you. Good opportunities all the time here on MSTR. Continue to buy that name. And I mean, you just got to like Bitcoin. If you do, then it's going up. I mean, their strategy is quite simple. You know, offer into the market, get that debt financing, throw that at 4, 5, 6%, put it right into Bitcoin, gain 5% a day. I mean, it's boom to the upside right there. Look, if crypto works, this thing is going to hum. And I don't see any reason why this stops. If we think we're getting back to $109,000, well, then get ready to see MSTR at $500. So that's straight fire from here. Like Bitcoin's 95,000, right? Right. So, you know, to get up to all-time highs again, 109, you're looking at just over 15%, 15 to 20% from here. MSTR, if that happens, will go up another 60%. So, you know, that's the play for me. I like MSTR. You just got to like the space. The 200 period is a working class right there when you're looking at that chart. So congratulations, everybody that's been long that. I know it's been tough because you have to go through some big drawdowns, you know. So, you know, it's kind of like you got those diamond hands to be able to hold that, and stones, I guess, is a better word that I'm looking for, to be able, to be able to trade it, right? I mean, it is a violent name, so.
It is.
Not necessarily for day trading. There are other levered products that are a little lower price with MSTR, so that's.
Oh, we got a super chat about that.
That's possible. Oh, there we go.
Swole the Mort. MSTR has tons of underwater sold calls expiring today. Capitulation on the short calls. Keep it jacked up. There you go.
There you
so that
go,
can explain exactly why it's happening. Oh, just before we go over and talk NVIDIA, I just noticed something interesting because everyone's like, well, you know, MSTR strategy, their strategy, what it is, and of course GameStop wants to get into that game. GameStop chart, IBIT chart. GameStop chart, IBIT chart. I just find that a little bit interesting that they're doing almost exactly the same thing, which is weird. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but here's IBIT trying to break out VWAP as we speak, and here's something that's well past it because it's a monster, NVIDIA.
All right, guys, NVDA, no specific catalyst on this one today. It is up nicely, though, 4.25%. Above that $110 area, and Morgan chiming in today, maintaining their overweight rating, but dropping the price target down to 160, guys, but not from a lot. 162 down to 160.
All right. Yeah.
Why do you even make the price?
NVIDIA?
No, it's just like if your price target's 162 to 160.
Yeah, I mean, you're not even close. It's at $110.
Yeah, but it's like I just leave it at 162. Like if you're making a big change or a real change, I guess.
I think when we're talking about upgrades and downgrades and price targets, you really got to see like the history of those.
Yeah.
The different, you know, who's covering it, how right have they been, and things like that. Because those prices don't really. That doesn't even make sense.
I'd want to see like what's the hit rate for because most of the times what 12 month projection. Like what's the hit rate on that, and then get an idea of like who's good in what sector and who's not good in what sector. You gotta, and if you're not into all of that, then they can be an interesting catalyst if you already like something in a certain direction or play the other way. But otherwise, look, NVIDIA is the clean, just like a lot of other things, super clean upward trend, which, like everything else, only broke because we had some Trump comments, and at the same time, you had the SPY in that 550 level. I mean, the futures in that 550 level, and look where we went right into. Now, try to remember. You go back, we'll zoom out the 15-minute even further. There is a 115 high, but the circumstances in which that's a 115 high, the one time it got here was a late day run, and then sold out the next day. It was under the next day after that. Then it was up here in the pre-market and sold off immediately, only to make about 113.5, the recent top. So there's a lot of overhead resistance, 112 to 115, on NVIDIA that hasn't really gotten a real good test. Like it hasn't had to test this on any kind of really strong upward move. I feel as if next week would be as good a test of any. It happens to be the 50-period moving average on the day. I suspect you'll get a bit of a chop zone. Like even today, if we break out the highs, Yeah, you want to short into the highs. Even if you break them out, I think it's not that likely that we get a 111 to 115 move this afternoon, but I think that would be a short up there based on what we're seeing and the fact that it's a Friday as well. Pulling back into VWAP would require a $2 drop, and that would mean we've got to find some shorts first. So I'm not even considering that.
Yeah, we missed it. We missed along there at $101. I mean, 101, $100. I mean, that's going to be a good little level there for NVIDIA. Hopefully it comes back to that. I don't know if we missed the bottom in this market or not, but I mean, NVIDIA, I still on the TQs. I'm still pissed off that I let Randy sit here. All right, and not really. NVDA. Yeah, I mean, this is what it looks like. Neil just talked about it. Again, right off the open, pretty violent. This is why the best strategy, I feel like, for right now, especially in this market, and we've looked at a different couple names like Palantir and like all these, and we're a little bit long in the tooth here because we didn't start that segment for a bit, but is to let things settle down, because if you go long off the open, you lose, right? And then if you think you're going to go short against, this is like what I was doing on Google, and you think you're going to go short against VWAP or something, well, you lost on that as well. The next thing you know, in the first 10 minutes, you've had a $2 move down and a $3 move up. Well, that's not tradable, because unless somehow you see the move happening and you get out. So then you kind of wait for that little pullback back in the second time. Then that's maybe where you could start to use some math and use some numbers. But yeah, there it goes, upside, NVIDIA working all day. You've never had to get out of this, and I don't think you will have to as it just continues to work. So 109, 109.50 right there, good little level for NVIDIA. The market is above VWAP, it's above the 50-period moving average, and that's why I feel silly that I'm still in half or so of this Q's position, because we shouldn't be. So yeah, that's a wrap for the talk there. Make sure you do scan that e-signal, and we'll get going on that. So all right, Google, we're going to talk about a whole bunch of names, so I'm getting ready to look at that. If you guys want to. Yeah, I've heard of Riot. Yes, what's up, love to trade. I've heard of Riot, heard of Mara, heard of many of those names. And we like to trade those names here. Wow, MSTR is still pumping, by the way. And to your guys' points, this is where, and I'm glad that we got that super chat in there, and I want to do a big thank you for the 5. It's David again. All right, David David, tell me phonetically how we pronounce that, because you're giving too many super chats to be able to pronounce that wrong. TRZEC. Yeah, Treziak. I think that's about right. But thank you for the 5 memberships, that's for sure. Yeah, exactly. Any China deal. This is the thing. This is the thing with all of the stocks right now, man. Any China deal, everything is popping because everything was brought down. It's not like, I understand the market's back. We're actually positive for the month. I'm going to look that up. I shouldn't say that. We're close to positive for the month of April. So, How bad is the month? Like, the fact that everyone still thinks this market is, it's not like we're still in an upward trend. If we look at a longer time frame here with the S&P 500, like you're going to have to look at a monthly chart, but we still do have some room to get back to all-time highs. And we're not super far away from that. I mean, I think now you're about 11% away, 12% away. We've seen that happen before. You've seen 4 or 5% months. You could be back there by the end of the summer, especially if that deal comes through. But MSTR just keeps on pumping higher. And you mentioned, David, Riot and things like that. Let's just see if that's pumping the same kind of way. No, you see what I'm saying? That's not going. So some of these other stocks, and that's why I meant to look at who had given that super chat, but talking about calls, some calls have been written that are getting run right now, I guess, and they have to cover. So that's part of the story with MSTR. There is a lot of hatred towards, not hatred, but there was that article a few weeks or months ago that broke down the price, and it was like, it's not priced correctly based on all of the Bitcoin.
It was a short seller report.
Right, exactly.
It was hate, actually. Yeah,
well,
sort of.
I don't know if a short seller report is hate if it's factual. I mean, I don't. So, yeah, what, fight where? No, we're not fighting. It's just
a boxing bell, man.
Yeah. So it's just, I just think that's the reason why there's a lot of love for MSTR, because it can go both ways. Like, when the market drops, it drops crazy, and then when Trechiak. Okay, we Googled it apparently.
Wasn't there like a famous goalie, like the all-time great?
Yeah. Before the
before
Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah, right.
Trechiak.
Maybe it's
That
not
wasn't with a.
No,
wasn't
it's
the
spelled.
same.
I guess it's spelled different.
Yeah, different spelling. I think, did he get into the chat?
That's how I always think sports. It's like everything.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure. That's why I'm trying to clarify it. I mean, I know we always say it wrong. That's what I mean.
Sorry, Ramin in our ears, like
We're not trying to pretend like we
you
get
guys
it right.
always say it wrong. We get it.
Shout out to my guy Steve Thielman as well.
Say a lot of names wrong in the chat.
Yeah,
Can't get them all right.
what
I
she
mean, there's
said,
some
too.
interesting names out there.
Yeah,
It was
all
a
good.
Russian goalie, but
Yeah.
it's not the same.
Yeah,
We got pulled in the '80 Olympics. So
Yeah, everyone knows Tretiak. Yeah, that was good call by you. But see,
I don't know
there it
that
is.
much hockey, but I know more. about
Treziak. Treziak says Bears versus Bulls. Is that right, David?
Treziak.
Treziak. Thank you, Bears, if that is true.
Easy. Now we're
There it
all gonna
is.
get
We got it. Trezi. Oh, but wait a
And the
minute.
shoes aren't
We say Z though, and Z. So now we don't. Now I still don't know. Trezedak.
Easy. Oh,
Treziak.
it's
It has
still
to be Z.
easy.
Has to be.
Treziak.
Has to be Z. Has to be Z. Okay. Off to the races here. All right. There was something that was really moving around that I wanted to.
Amazon.
Yeah, well, you can cover Amazon, but there was.
Well, other people were saying I haven't. Yeah, well, wow.
Treziak. We got it.
Look at
right.
these.
All right.
That could be a song.
Yeah, go ahead. Amazon. Yeah, Amazon pumping. I mean, that was another name that we should be long.
There is not a single thing out of off base on this. Let me go back to it. I want a 3-minute.
Look what
There
you
go.
made me do.
I like a 3-minute better. Plus, it just makes the bounce look cooler. See how there's only now one red candle? Much cooler. No, I like a 3-minute better. This is a very linear move up here in Amazon. This is drifting higher, and I think this is. Oh, that's what I meant to get to. We're close, but we're not quite up on the month. I think we need 559 on the SPY. But Amazon, like every other thing out here, remember the 550 on the SPY? How we couldn't break that and faded it. All of these stocks. You saw NVDA at the overhead resistance. Amazon, same thing. 190 has been the top the last couple weeks. There's a monster gap if it gets up there. So a lot of times you got to start thinking, okay, if you're watching that SPY level, here's Amazon. You're watching that SPY level, the 550. It's an area we've already broken back above it. But look at where we turn on that Trump comment, right? Like if you trend back in, if you're an Amazon trader, the market even sniffs losing a bit. I don't care how strong it's breaking out. It's going to come back with you. It's a tricky one to want to short all the way up here. Like what I like are names that when this makes the bounce back, if you're short it, it hasn't bounced back. Like Affirm hasn't, Mara hasn't, AFRM. Go, make sure we actually type it right. Yeah, this one fought maybe one time too many. I like the early short on Affirm. That was part of the plan. That one I didn't really give much of a chance. This is the one that I don't like. Why don't I like it? Because it gave me all the reason to get out of more of it in this consolidation. I just decided to hold the whole thing to the stop. But this is not back at the high, but it's above VWAP. But at least it's not back at the high. So I'd rather reshort things that are not breaking out, but you got to watch out for this SPY top in here. It's going to be key for anyone that's looking specifically at Amazon. And of course, Tesla. Oh, what can you even say about Tesla?
That's about it.
That's exactly it. Or this.
Oh my God.
Look, I clearly remember on earnings day, before earnings day, that day, and I was like, if you want to start a position in Tesla, you should just do it right now. And that was at 231, and I only said put in 10%. But like, if you've done that, you are just like right now laughing. And it's only because, remember, when earnings have really nothing, like we already knew that their car sales were bad. Like we've already seen those reports, man. It was 15% month over month in California. We saw their numbers from Europe were bad. We knew that they were losing some way as far as their car sales temporarily, I feel, right? I think that's going to be back. It was just about what were they talking about moving forward. Then you got the reaffirmation of the start of the robo-taxis, and that should be coming out, rolling out pretty soon as well. And then we get to talk today about all those rides working out. We get to talk that Waymo's actually been pretty good so far as well for Google. So I think there are some stories here that we need not forget sometimes about Tesla, where there are more levers that can get pulled successfully for them. So I'm excited to be still a shareholder. Isn't this the level that you'd sold at? It was around here, right? You had a great trade, 220, 284.
100%.
Yeah, so I'm just saying like round tripping. Like
yeah, but the problem is, 3-4 days ago, I simply said, I'm not. I'm doing the whole
Right.
3-day rule
I
on
didn't
it.
buy any.
I'm not buying back the 220s, and I'm now kicking myself for it because it was a good buy. But I said I'd be patient.
No, but you didn't want to buy it. Like I didn't want to buy it. It's just like what a round trip.
It's such a good.
That's it. It's just it's working.
Yeah, when the market shows you a
I'm
level,
down for random
sometimes
news.
you should play it more. Like you could have just swung it again. Let's go to Adair and
Play that
see what kind of
trumpet.
news
I
we
like
have.
that trumpet.
I like the trumpet.
Me too.
That's how you should announce the news.
Oh, it's only for Trump news.
Oh.
My bad.
Okay.
Okay,
Sarah.
thank you.
Unfortunately, no trumpet because this news has to do with Starbucks. Not super major, but I think something that is worth noting. We do have the Starbucks union reportedly rejecting the company's contract proposal, according to delegates. Basically, the union apparently said the company offered annual raises of at least 2% regardless. This proposal was rejected. So SBUX on Watch, nothing major. Speaking of Trump, though, I actually am seeing some stuff there. Apparently, a member, the Secretary General of NATO, met with Trump and senior U.S. officials. So, again, not anything that's necessarily market moving, but worth noting NATO talking to Trump and his team. Back to you.
Starbucks not really.
It was probably Yoshi's or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we're just. Oh, I know the name I want to talk about was Big Bear. So Big Bear AI today. So I looked. So I'm still stuck at $4. We had talked about this name. What's up to Charlie in the Charlie Taff in the chat. I know that you're big into, or at least you're looking at Big Bear AI with me. And it's nice to see 23%, but I'm still out of the money. So it's a nice move to the upside. Remember, I'm calling this like baby Palantir a little bit. So again, they're an AI name. They do have a few contracts. I mean, Palantir is the dog, but there's always more bark. And we can find other names. Big Bear, they do have an accounting issue that they're trying to work through as well. So that sort of stunted the growth and watched out for that going there. But we know that it has this juice and has this capability. This is why I'm in the name. I like the story. I like the space. I like AI. I like big data. And that's what these guys are for right now. So they have a deal with the Department of Defense. So obviously there's been some vetting of this company. But their earnings were really shady. So when it fell through there $5, it just didn't find a base until the 200 period moving average. So you guys know I think I bought some at every dollar on the way down, which is why we're stuck at $4. And I wish I wasn't. I wish I was loaded up down here at 250. I did not buy anything down here, but we did buy 3, 4s, and 5s. So we're almost there. I am not, because we had to hold this thing $1.50, $2 against us. I'm not getting out of this until we moon. So it's going to be great. Let's see another 25% on Monday for Big Bear AI. Other than that, I wait for that, and I'm going to check when the earnings are. Sometimes you sandbag, and I'm going to have to do maybe on the weekend, look into this because I am willing to buy more. I mean, May 1st. So maybe that's what we do, guys. Maybe we just wait for May 1st, check out what's going on then for the stock, and then we'll react because we don't need that to blast down again. If it does, let's sit at 250 and buy some more shares. Again, not financial advice, just what I'm thinking in my head, which can be dangerous, but that's 23% short float right now, right? It does have enough shares outstanding, 200 million shares, but that doesn't matter. We know that AMC has hundreds of millions of billions of shares. It can still go when retail wants it to. Big Bear AI, again, another successful story for the last couple of days. Let's see if it does have enough to get back there. I just had that up. Adair is over there, but I don't think there's a specific story per se on Big Bear AI today. Let me go over to the news right here. The ultimate source. No, just saying the Fly published. Nothing there. Okay. Deploy its AI-powered platform in USA. So this is what I'm saying. There is some, submarine construction using AI. Come on, man. This is what we're talking about. Like, this is the kind of stuff here where, they do have real world uses. Security, U.S. Navy. Let's go, man. Let's go. So we're, this is getting me a little excited, maybe more so than I need to be, but I like Big Bear AI. I like to read those kind of things. We do know that eventually, and look, part of Big Bear AI's problem too is Doge. I mean, Trump was in there, and so with Elon cutting some government spending and whatnot. So Palantir went through some headlines like that, and we just kept on coming back on the show and just saying to you guys, like, we don't think that, just because they're cutting the spending, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to directly affect these companies' bottom line. And it doesn't look like it has yet, which is why I think it's important that we wait for Big Bear AI to come through on May the 1st, unless you're Turkey or something like that. But the U.S. is definitely not cutting that. I mean,
Europe is increasing.
how are we going to become the 51st state if they're not going to come in here and take us over? You know what I'm saying? We're elbows up in here.
Get it started, man.
Elbows up.
We're ready, to defend ourselves with.
We're ready, man. We're going to throw some maple syrup on these guys, get them real, like, hard to, you can't fire.
You'll bribe them with the maple syrup.
Yeah.
So, like,
But I'm sure there's some sweet maple syrup, like spots down there in the States.
oh yeah, probably.
Like Oregon?
It's better here, probably. I actually have no idea.
Everything's better in Canada, right?
I know. I don't have. I would imagine there would be. I just have no clue whether or not there's great maple syrup anywhere in the States. You guys tell me.
There is. There for sure is. I mean,
well, of course there has to be, but I wouldn't
upstate
know where. There has to be somewhere.
Everywhere,
but it's
man. Vermont.
ridiculously good here, for sure. Blame Canada. Oh goodness.
Blame Canada. I'm going to rewatch that South Park.
In the Time interview, he did say again. President Trump did mention again the whole 51st state and more territories, and Greenland came out there again. That was the interview from last night. So it is what it is.
All right.
Shoot, I had a thought. It doesn't matter. Starbucks breaking out, market breaking out. It was something else. Oh, while the market was breaking out, I'm not at the point yet, but I think I want to add, like you're going underneath VWAP here while the market's going higher. So I'm looking for a curl. Basically, I'm looking for a curl on IBIT, and then I'm going to add to Mara, give it to 14.4. I have a trailing stop in here.
Go find for me if there's any odds on Shedeur getting drafted here, because, this guy's going to get picked here today, and I think he's going to be a great asset for the Cleveland Browns. All right, so if you want top-tier odds and total control, and we're going to go show it to you in a couple seconds, ProfitX brings you peer-to-peer picking and open AI access for automation. That's the key thing, man, these automation. You probably could have been throwing up some good odds last night as the draft was happening. And cost-efficient trading all in one place. It's like day trading your own favorite sports. Make offers, match plays, and even manage your risk with diverse prediction options. Just don't place picks, exchange them. Get in and out of those plays. ProfitX, a smarter, faster way to play. Users can use code TRADERTV. Use that when you sign up. Grab that 2% cash back and win with ProfitX today. But that was the whole thing about ProfitX is you got to try it. Go over there, just click on it. Even if you
So who do you
deposit
think?
$10.
Who do you think's going to take him?
Browns.
Oh, you can do no. This is the best part.
What? Those are the odds?
You don't have to take Browns. You can put no on some of the other teams.
So you can go no and then yes on somebody else, and then boom.
Yeah.
Raiders are the favorite.
I think
who has the picks?
Browns have 2 picks in the first 7 in the second
Oh
half.
wow! Then Raiders must be ahead
No,
of.
somebody else has 2 picks in the first 10. There's 2 teams that have 2 early first picks. I'm gonna guess, based on these, it's probably the Raiders. The Saints make sense. I don't remember where they pick in the second round, but yeah, you have to.
My only thing is that I think NFL is a quarterback league. There's only a certain amount of opportunity. Whether or not you like Shedeur Sanders or not, I don't know. I didn't watch enough Colorado games. I don't know. But I'm just saying you don't get an opportunity to draft potential generational talent. I'm not saying I don't know any of these quarterbacks are. I think Cam Ward, I really like his style. I like how calm he is.
I like
and how he wasn't super flashy. He seems to be a pretty legit guy overall. I don't know.
He's good.
And I know Sanders comes with some baggage for sure with Papa over there.
He doesn't have a big arm. He's not.
But apparently he was pretty accurate.
He's incredibly accurate. Dion was an all-world athlete, track
That's
star.
what I'm saying. Like,
Shedeur's
you
not
don't
that.
get that many opportunities. You can sign him to a rookie deal. If it doesn't work out, you're fine. If it does work out, I think you have a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Yeah.
And that's very hard to find, especially in this day and age. But the Packers got Jordan Love, you've got Josh Allen, and now we have Matthew Golden. So we're good, man. Josh Jacobs, our offense is going to be insane, and we have a great D as well. We just got to get.
I hope we see you in the Super Bowl.
A Super Bowl would be.
That would be.
Yeah, I mean that would be pretty epic. I mean Green Bay versus Buffalo, that would be like a battle of 2 crazily cold weather teams. When is that stadium going to be built? It must be pretty soon. A couple of years, I think.
It's supposed to be ready for 2026.
Oh.
I mean, that's
1 year.
the idea. So
Okay.
I hope so. That's an interesting take. Robert Hernandez. Shedeur was born on third base and acts like he hit a triple. I'll say this. I don't know. I saw that whole pic about it's like the draft room that he has set up. And
Yeah.
And I get that, but if you look at his production in college and the skill level that he has in the pocket, he can make every single throw, he can read the defense, he knows where to put the ball, his ball placement's unbelievable. You have to bust your butt to be that good as he is. Because he is not as physically just ridiculously gifted as his dad was. So I have a mad respect for how much he has gotten out of his athletic talent. I think he's an unbelievable player. I didn't necessarily think he should have been a top 10 pick, so I'm not surprised that he wasn't, but I think he's going to be a QB in the league. The market is, we're trying to grind back to the highs. I still want to try to short some pops on weaker-ish types of names, for sure. And where is it? Oh, I love this, James Dell. This needs to be said because it doesn't get said enough. Cam Ward, who went number 1, was a no-star recruit out of high school. That's my favorite thing about it. Zero-star recruit.
Right. There's
number 1
NFL
NFL pick. Just goes to show. Stay on your grind, man.
The best quarterback in the history of the game.
Stay on your grind.
Was
Tom
drafted
Brady
in the 6th round.
Although he wasn't that. Maybe I'm biased because
they said no athletic ability.
Well, I'm biased because I'm a Big Ten guy, and if you're a Big Ten person, then you didn't think Tom Brady was that bad. He was Michigan guy.
Still 32 teams passed the
Yeah, they absolutely did, which is nonsense. Like he probably should have gone in the 3rd or 4th if you're being more realistic about what he showed. But at the same time, just stay on your grind. Brock Purdy, Mr. Relevant. Stay on your grind, whatever it might be. And just because things are supposed to happen, it doesn't mean it's going to go that way. So you got to keep hope alive. Market.
I'm starting to get out of some more TQQs. There are some Starbucks views. I don't know if that's with Adara. There's something about a union. But Adara does have something she wants to tell us.
The Starbucks union news is that it's what I said earlier. Basically, the Starbucks union rejected a proposal there. Keep an eye on Weight Watchers, which is making new day's highs. WW International, as it's now called. 26% short float, denying rumors of a Chapter 11 bankruptcy filing to reduce their debt burden. So WW on watch here. I was trying to see if there's anything else, but no, just WW here. Back to you.
What you do is declare bankruptcy and your stock really starts to run up. I mean, I know that there didn't. No, I know, but that's the whole thing is that we've seen that happen before where once a stock gets down into those depths of hell, one little story and you'll get these crazy pops. Like that's 97% right there from 2 o'clock and boom, like monster play right there back up to the upside. So the only thing that I can think of when I'm thinking about this kind of a story is the brand acknowledgement, right? And it's just like, will someone if Weight Watchers, I know it's WW International, but maybe there's some sort of a, what do you call it when you, it's just the name, the IP.
Yeah, the IP.
So you have the IP behind it. I could see that as being a reason there to maybe start to pop up to the upside. I mean, anyways, pretty bad stock. Needless to say that it's been really crushed. And what you want to sometimes do is wait for the news to come out of a bankruptcy, then you go down into the pink sheets, and then you could start to sell off some of your assets and figure out, if the bondholders and all that kind of stuff. But I figure by the looks of this, there's not much equity left in this business. So Weight Watchers, WW International now taking levels out. I mean, there it goes, even further now as we're doing 85 million shares on the day for WW and still going higher. There's really no levels here, I don't think. I mean, that's 44 cents down here on the daily. I mean, if you get to 44 cents, you're going to be up 200%. So that it's going and doesn't seem to want to stop. I think the best thing to do now is I'll keep this up. And if you do get that one little flush, then that's when it's not going to halt, it's under $1, but you're going to see if it does make those moves back down into this area where we've seen some support, then I think it might be a go. The problem with this is like we have traders that are watching and traders, that will take 10,000 shares of this. You still, which makes sense, it's only 31 cents, but you could still drop 5 cents and, you have 10,000 shares to $500, right? So you got to be careful with what you're doing and what the levels are. So yeah, it looks like it's going to work. Congratulations on that one. Good call out there. Thanks to Dare for it. But there it goes, man. WW taking out highs as we talk about it here on Trader TV Live.
Traded, don't hold it, I guess, because I don't, it's still a company with
that stock got pretty thin.
Well, there you go. But it's hard to keep it off.
Well, it's not that hard to put back on, apparently. I mean,
the GLP problem right there.
That's just ripping. Yeah, and exactly. And this is another problem with that.
Well, that was
a lot of it. Yeah, go ahead.
It's sad to say, but you knew they were toast when the GLP wave came. it was never going to be good. And I remember hearing there were some conference calls. I don't know who the CEO was. I don't memorize these things, but I remember hearing one of the CEOs on, I think it was Mad Money, but it could have been another CNBC show. And they were trying to say all the right things. And I remember listening to it being like, how? How does it work when everyone's going to take a pill? I don't get it.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And it didn't work. And unfortunately, great for anybody that's got this long. Hopefully you make some money. But
it's Power Hour.
If it's Power Hour right now, we're into it.
Has a voice now?
Do it again.
Oh, man. I ruined it.
Do it again. Ooh, wait.
No matter how you travel, it's good to have a plan. Some people plan every minute. No sleep, bus, museum, another museum. While others only plan to take it day by day.
We are waiting. We are literally waiting.
Oh, use the force, and then you can do it.
I only use that on stocks.
I wish that worked. I got a T-shirt for May 4th. That's all I got to say.
Nice. So what day is that anyways? Friday?
Day of the week? Good question.
Sunday. In your face.
Seriously?
Just wear it on May the 5th to be with you.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'll do. No, isn't it? No, that's not.
You gotta do it again. Neil's talking.
Power Hour.
Okay. It's like, did you guys hear that? Like, Power Hour.
Yeah?
All right, I wanted to just...
it needs more bass. It'd be like Power Hour. That's how it should sound like that.
You should get some Barry White stuff going on here. We're gonna talk about what kind of money was made yesterday. It's not like it's huge. Neil was gonna call this up the other day, and we sort of forgot to do it. Yesterday was not a very... I mean, still at Real Trading, it's decent. These are the top traders at Real Trading yesterday, and it's not that impressive, to be honest with you. But well, it is. Look, I mean, 9,000. I'm just saying we've seen numbers here that are much bigger. I don't have the losses. Only the top traders, and sometimes this number could be in the 20s or 30s. But I think a lot of traders have sort of calmed down a little bit because of the action that's in the market. It is tough to put on like max positions for sure these days. But okay, 9,500 yesterday. These are the markets that were traded. So it's not. You know, we have the ability. You see me and Neil just calling up Amex symbols like the SPY or symbols, you know, on NASDAQ, NYSE. Sometimes we call it Brazilian symbols. People trade the futures. We have NYMEX futures here as well for oil and gas, CME futures for the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 and others as well. We have Bitcoin futures actually here as well. We have the CME minis. So, okay. Already? Okay, let's go to Adair. We'll come back and I'll just go over that and then we'll be done.
I just want to let you guys know we have just posted our brand new earnings and events calendar for next week. And man, is it a doozy. We have Apple, we have Amazon, we have Meta and Microsoft reporting here. So all of the Meg 7s but NVIDIA will have reported by the end of next week. And if you're thinking, well, what about economic data? We have a lot of that as well. We have PCE data coming through. We have non-farm payrolls coming through. JOLTS job openings. So check out this infographic on X at TTV Research for everything you need to know for next trading week. Prepare in advance. And yeah, definitely always look at these infographics. I'm also going to be posting the infographic for Monday's details. That'll be coming out post-haste. Back to you.
Oh, could leave that up because look, I know this week everyone cared about. Can we get that back up for a split second? I don't want to have to go find it. Is that possible?
What? Yeah.
No, because everyone talked about how big a week this is, and it's not like today. You know, today post Alphabet, big deal. Tesla earnings, big deal. No questions asked. But you can see what's coming in next week. Just look at Thursday, right? Apple and Amazon say no more. Airbnb is going to be. A big one. Reddit is going to be, like, I think in terms of movers, that's huge. Eli Lilly, McDonald's. I care a lot about what happens on Wednesday because I own Caterpillar and GE Healthcare, and then after the market, you've got big ones. Meta and Robinhood, come on. It's a monster week next week. Absolutely a monster.
Nah, it's not that big.
Where's SoFi? SoFi's...
It's the other day.
There it is. SoFi,
yeah, pre-market.
Tuesday in the pre-market. Some people might care about SoFi because they are holding shares for a long time. Snapchat's in there. So it's a monster week of earnings. This is where you get just a sheer volume of companies reporting. That's why...
Sharif's going to have to stay late every day.
It's going to be wild. Every day's going to be big. Well, it's better because I was saying anecdotally that Tuesday and Thursdays are the best aftermarket. And then you get, because you do Tuesday and Thursday.
But then
Wednesday, this is what we get. But last time, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was Meta. We were just waiting, and they just would not drop the report.
Right.
And it's like it's 5:25, it's 5:29.
But you guys didn't go 4. I was gonna say you didn't go that late.
And then it was 4:30. We're like, look, they haven't dropped the report yet, but we're gonna try to stick around for you guys. And then finally, did we stay until 4:50? Oh, I thought it was like 4:40 that we stayed.
Ramin has you guys on death watch.
4:50? My bad. I didn't realize we stayed that long. Sorry, Ramin, if that was you.
Yeah.
But we had to cover the earnings for you because it was Meta. It's too big not to. You had to. Got to.
Yeah, I mean, you're a man of the people, so we'll do everything to try to get you guys, the earnings. And I Robinhood Wednesday night, like that. For me, that's going to be a real fun story to tell because they had a great quarter last quarter and it was an awesome report. So we'll see if that can continue to work out, right? And then SoFi, there's a lot of traders, obviously, we talk about that are very, very interested in SoFi earnings. Yeah, so great. Thanks, Adara. If you're not following Trader TV research right now, I think you're missing out because if you like infographics and it's not just that, they're so easy to read. It's like it's straightforward. And then every day, Adara will also, which I can't believe she's doing all this, will put the times in there and create like a brand new infographic with the exact times. I don't think she'll be doing that. She may do it next week, but it's gonna be busy. Like there's like, yeah, she will find. Oh, I'm not worried. I'm worried. Like on Tuesday, there's like 15 like great.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
And you have some writing to do this weekend, apparently, too. So Dara's... Put her on.
To write, I have a writing contest. I made it to the second round, so to write an 8-page script. Awesome. I found out my assignment this morning, and I will submit it Sunday at 11:59 p.m.
Can you give us? Is there a little bit of a sneak peek? Like, what are the topics? Do you know what?
So it'll be. I don't, in case anyone's, I don't want to give away, too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they give you a genre, they give you a general kind of topic or theme, and they give you a character type. So that's all I have to go off of.
Sweet.
We'll have to wait and see what happens. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, we're excited for that. We're excited for that.
That's how you know that's why all the content is so good. We have professional writer.
That's right. Right. But yeah, definitely check that out and make sure you follow all of us here at Trader TV Live. I wanted to just quickly go over these numbers, and it's not about the numbers. What I'm trying to show you is that the ability to trade different markets all of the time, right? I mean, and I talked about this with eSignal, and it's just matter of fact that it's up there right now. But like Turkey, Hong Kong, it's different markets that aren't as heavily day traded. The Turkish market, some of these random ones in Toronto, including the TSX Venture. We've had a couple. I forget the name of that mining company that was on a couple days ago. But again, another venture name that you can trade that was popping that day, right? And so, not Macklemore, something like that. But, McMillan? I should find it for you, and I will. So anyways, I just wanted to say that those are the opportunities that we have here at Real Trading. So make sure you do check us out. And, if you are in...
McFarland Lakes.
McFarland Lakes.
I had to look it up.
Good one. So not McMillan Lakes. Good, got it.
I'm thinking about the receiver.
Tet there, the guy that got taken there, 6th overall. Guy's a stud. There's going to be some memes like Judge and Altuve type of stuff because Bryce Young is I think sub 6 feet or around 6 feet.
He's not 6 feet.
No, he's not. I just thought because quarterbacks are generally like 6'5". And this guy's 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, and he's a legit 6'5".
Yeah, so that's going to be really funny.
Now, when quarterbacks are under 6, they give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
but when you see
Mayfield.
him standing next to somebody, you know he's not.
Yeah, I think
it's like if I were to call myself 6 feet, it's like, no, I'm 5'11", I can admit it.
Shout out to my guy Doug Flutie as well.
Yeah, he was
a good one for your Buffalo Bills, man. Okay, so People asking about the TQs. Look, man, I made a huge mistake. I thought we were having a good time there. I didn't realize I didn't have any bids down here. You know, Randy was sitting here when this was happening. I thought normally when I get up, and especially when I just go walk to the corner and get some coffee, I always have stops there. The market wasn't doing much, and then all of a sudden Trump opened his mouth, and then it was like bang to the downside there. And I was here, it was floating around. I thought I had bids down there, did not, but now we have breaking news.
DASH, that is DoorDash on watch here. A little bit of a move, as you can see on this catalyst. We have Deliveroo, which is a British food delivery company, saying that it received a proposal from DoorDash to acquire it for roughly $3.6 billion. This is reported by the Wall Street Journal. So again, DASH on watch. Deliveroo reportedly receiving a proposal from DoorDash to be acquired for $3.6 billion. Not clear if that's in, I guess, pounds or USD. I'm assuming USD because it's not specified. Back to you.
Well, Deliveroo is only listed it's not dual listed. It's only listed over in the LSE, unfortunately. It's not really reacting on that. Although I'll say this, a lot of times, if you have a strong acquirer that you like, and they make a deal that the market punishes because you're either raising debt or sometimes you're using shares directly. If they get sold off, I do usually like the 3-day rule on that, where you find a nice little bottom. It's like going down on earnings, only better, because the idea is you're making the acquisition because you want it to be some kind of a quality synergy for you. Well, if this does happen, because right now it's not reacting off of it, you'd look for some kind of a pullback on DoorDash, ideally in the market strength. Market's going down, what difference does it make if this is going down with it? But if it's going down because any deal gets announced and the market is holding strength, then I like those quick little dip buys. You've seen it work time and time again, but we'll see what happens. I'm just going to double check here. I have a trail, on Affirm. There you go. Yeah, because Affirm is right back to the volume weighted average price. We have 10% left of this thing, and there's a very clear, obvious, there you go, set of lower highs that it's putting in. Not the best trend line, but it's close enough. If we break out the half dollar, I'm just jumping out of this. Mara, I don't mind the reload on, although it doesn't seem to want to get there for me. But this, I'm not reloading. I'm just getting out if it breaks above that 50, or we break the low and get back to where we were shorting it this morning. Overall, I was looking at WW because it felt like it might.
Ooh, what did that do now?
Well, I thought it was going to pull back into VWAP there for a second, and now it's trying to regain 30. There was a spoofer at 30 on the offer, 30 cents. That maybe they actually took the shares while I wasn't watching, but they were stacking the offer at 30 and it was having trouble getting through. Looks like it just ran that and came back down. So the volume weighted average price is about 26 cents. We'll look to see if it can bounce down there and hold. What's interesting is I always forget what the halt bands are for under 50 cents. So I actually am not sure off the top of my head.
I don't think it does halt.
No, they do have halts. It's just much wider when it's 50 cents. And I forget.
Because, how could it not halt? It's up 98%.
Well, some of these are 3 minute, like this 5 minutes in here would be like 20 to 25. I think it's over 25%.
It starts small, doing what you can when you can. It's just one change, followed by another.
Under 50 cents, but I'd have to double check.
Yeah.
We know what the bands are for like normal stocks, but penny stocks, it's always different.
Yep, for sure. All right, so I don't know. I was just talking about it, and then we sort of went on to that story with Deliveroo and DoorDash. But I'm just, if we can get back to the 200 period moving average again on the futures, those of you that were asking about this, I'd have to go double check my trade list to see how many shares we actually had there at the top of that. So I can tell you how much we have left. Oh man, we don't have much left. All right, so we have about 20% left at this point. Google judge has set a date to the antitrust. You must not be logged in. It is happening as we speak. So there is a date announced for the Google antitrust lawsuit. So that's all that just happened. Obviously, Google's not moving on that, nor is it an important story. It's announced. So if it was moving more, then we would be worried about that, but I'm not. So we still are short Google. This took. I already told you guys the story about how we didn't trade this thing properly. This was sort of that thing in the very beginning. I don't even have it marked down on our sheet today. So Google probably should have been left to the wayside, but instead it came back in, and I liked, for some reason, this 163 area. So I had bought it, then we lost it, then we bought it again, then it lost, and I was frustrated in the long, and I was like, you know what, we're going short then. And then all of a sudden we started going short, and we kept getting stopped out, and then eventually I waited about 4 minutes. It wasn't even that much, but we finally based out and gave a top right there. I thought this was a bottom early, 164, but it just wasn't. And when it gave up, we got out of it, and then we tried it again down there, thinking like, okay, maybe this is the bottom now. And I can zoom out and sort of show you what we had thought was good, but there wasn't. There was air up there, it gapped through, so that was a little bit of a problem. We always knew that 160 was going to be a long, but we didn't get there, so we decided to wait for that. But then as it came back up for Google today, again, we shorted it underneath VWAP, underneath the 50, which is this pink, then underneath VWAP, and then we got stopped out. And then it was like, okay, let it just rip up, and we were pretty glad when it did that. And then it finally gave this base in and around 165, and then for some reason, we were shorting it there into VWAP. We were playing against that level. We almost got tagged out, and then it was like the skies opened up, or the other way around, and it just collapsed.
Parting of the red.
Right back in, and it was like, we were lucky enough to have some shares on, and it just tanked. And, I told you, we had a couple hundred shares, and it just, that was a big trade, because if we would have held it all the way, it would have been even bigger. But we did really good with the amount that we held. We got a bunch out there in front of VWAP because it was good. And then it was just let it fall down. And it's corrected the trade, made Google great again, and now we have to wait to see where we go here, hopefully to the downside. So I'm going to hold shorts. Again, the reason why we had written down today, I was looking short on the TQs all day, and I actually wrote down initially 51.50 short, but that blew out. So right now, into the close, the NASDAQ, someone posted it that we're now positive on the month for the Qs.
You are positive?
Yeah,
I looked at the SPY instead.
Here, I have it. Here it is right here. Let me see if we can... so if I can just, where's my zooming in here? There it is. We'll zoom in, and we'll just zoom in basically for this is more than a month. But if we go,
100%. Yep.
Yeah, is it? So here we go, March, April. So this is going to be April 1st right here. So that's this candle. So we're there. So there it goes. Like, out of everything that we've seen down, the NASDAQ is all the way back up. So I say, like, bet on American companies. Most of the NASDAQ is all American tech companies. Really, I think, like ASML, maybe there's a few names that are going to be outside. But yeah, again, great trade there. I hope some of you were able to buy some of those dips. I was buying as we were falling, but then I had stopped. So, my best buys are basically where we are right now. Maybe I bought in this candle, but I have nothing to do with down here. So I just double checked the account today. I'm down still about 10% from all-time highs, maybe a little bit more, maybe 10 to 12%. From my all-time highs in my personal portfolio. So we'll see if we can get back, and that matches with sort of where the NASDAQ is. We're still about 10% and 12% off highs, NASDAQ and ES respectively. So, trying to diversify a little bit more by buying the indexes, and hopefully that works out for us. All right, so 95,000. Yes. I was just noticing IBIT's coming back. You have Mara on.
A little bit here, so I was going to go to Mara for a quick little second, but you're right about IBIT, so let me do both at the same time. There's IBIT, topping tail candle through 54.20, and then a little bit of a drawback. It is bouncing off VWAP, so it's not like it's weak. We're still relatively strong above the volume weighted average price, but while that happened and the topping tail occurred, we're at VWAP on Mara, which I said if it held underneath, there's the top. I got more in. I still had some shares from the top, but I'm not letting this get past 14. Like, this isn't 14.4. This local high is like 14.37, which ends up being my average price. But if it gets past that hump, I'm out of Mara. So I'm looking for continued relative weakness in Mara. Oh, WW. Well, about VWAP, no. There will be no VWAP bounce play on WW because it does not want to get there. So I guess you had to buy 29s, not 26s, although that's a distinct difference. Like, you're talking about 10% difference there on WW. And there is It's not like there's levels or any like big levels, but there, if you go back on the daily chart, there's kind of like 45 to 50 cents. I wouldn't put that as some kind of a hard stop, but if this went super parabolic and it wasn't, you know, past 345 or something, I think maybe looking for a reversal closer to 50 cents would make sense. But still looking for that dip buy. I guess VWAP's not going to be in the cards, unfortunately. Dragos and Joey T both saying Palantir. All right, stop is good on Mara. Take profits are in. WW doesn't care. What you want to happen, it only wants to go up. Palantir just cruising to 112.
Ooh.
Was it
Maybe
Joe that said
maybe I'll get
112?
some out.
It's very important to listen first, talk second. That's counterintuitive for most people.
Was somebody saying something about?
what? I mean, it's almost back to all-time highs.
No, someone was saying something about the.
Oh, the calls?
About there being a lot of open interest in the 112. I could be wrong about that. I remember something about it in the midday, but I could be wrong. But it is at 112 now as we speak. So it's so tempting when you get like these ridiculous. I heard you just say you're considering taking some out on Palantir. I was thinking the same thing about ARM, and I reminded myself, no, that's not the plan. No, it's not. Trying to build a long-term position. Don't sell because you're staring at you're staring underneath the 50-period moving average, and it's really tempting when you get a good buy to take like 30-40% in a couple of weeks. But if it wasn't supposed to be a trade, I'm not going to turn it into a trade, and I might look stupid a month from now. We'll see how it goes. Uh-oh, that Summit halt again. Is that why everyone's going on about this?
Are we going to check it like SSM?
Yeah, it's halted down again, Summit. Oh, this thing never really recovered, unfortunately. Yikes.
What was the story with this one?
So, it just opened back up here. So if memory serves, they were down because another company had a good positive trial in something they had a competing drug on, I think. I could be wrong. Let's go to Adair at the desk.
I was not initially going to talk about Summit, but I can. I did a lot of digging into this on X, and so yes, there was that whole situation there with Merck. Merck rose on this news, but basically the thing that I'm seeing that people are saying on X, and when I Googled it briefly, that is what's moving Summit, is the fact that apparently their data for one of their drugs actually showed lower overall survival stats. So that was the issue that I'm seeing. Again, this is just interpretations of things online, so take that how you will, but that was what I was seeing was the attribution for that move in the stock. TSLA was really strong all day. We weren't really sure why. I'm seeing it again. This is just the circulation here I'm seeing on X. That might be why we have this. Apparently, the Department of Transportation rolled out a new national framework to fast-track autonomous vehicle development. So apparently that is, as far as I'm seeing, that's being attributed to the move up in TSLA. So keep an eye on this one. Pushing a little bit lower right now, but still generally very strong, of course, on the day is Tesla. Back to you.